Okay, so one of your challenges for this challenge is to drink the 64 ounces of water. That's why we're talking about water this time, and just some benefits that water has for you. So I just want to start off with a quote, and this comes from a book that's called Sports Nutrition, a Practice Manual for Professionals. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in nutrition, so I have a whole bunch of nutrition books, and just came from it, and it just says, no other nutrient is as essential and it's talking about water. So water is one of the most important nutrients that we need for our body, and our body really does need it. So water makes up about 60% of your body weight. So to calculate that up, for if you weighed about 130 pounds, you'd be made up about 80 pounds of water. So that's a good portion of your weight is just water. So some of the functions that water has is it transports nutrients throughout your whole body. This is one of the main things water does. So you need it so that you can get those nutrients to all the different parts of your body. It acts as a solvent, so that just means it takes in other nutrients and lets them get to other places too as when it transports them. So it takes minerals, it takes your vitamins, amino acids, which would be your proteins, glucose, which would be your sugars, and it takes them to all the different parts of your body for it to work the way it needs to. It's a cleansing agent, so it helps clean out your body, your tissues, helps clean out the waste in your body. It's a lubricant and a cushion, so water helps lubricate your joints, and it cushions your joints too, like your spinal cord, your eye sockets, things like that. It helps cushion them so that as you're hard on your body, they have a little cushion there. It acts as a coolant, and so this just means it helps keep your body temperature regulated. And water is a main part in a lot of the chemical reactions that go on in your body. So does anybody have any questions about anything it does for your body?
Makes you urinate a lot.
Yes, it does. That's part of the cleansing.
Not about 20 years.
So, one of the big questions that we get is how much water do you really need in your body? So, we've actually been doing a lot of research about this lately just because they came out with the 2020, or is it the 2015? The 2015, yeah, there we go. The 2015 recommendations for the USDA recommendations, sorry. And so in it says nothing about what amount of water you should be getting each day. So we contacted the nutrition specialists, Carrie Durwood and Rebecca Carlson at the university, and they helped us just come up with what the current recommendations are, and they are both registered dietitians. And so this is what registered dietitians practice these days. So instead of telling you how much water you should be drinking, because it's different for everybody, because there's a specific formula depending on your height, your body weight, your activity level of how much water you should really be getting each day. They're just now recommending that you get a minimum of 6 glasses of water per day, and then any more to satisfy your thirst. So that you might not have heard that before, because usually you might have heard drink 8 glasses of water a day. So any questions?
Well, Cindy's making us be an overachiever on that.
I will answer your question in the next slide. So does that make sense? Instead of
We're
giving
glad
you
you mentioned that.
how much, instead of giving you how much you should be drinking, this is how much you at least need per day, and then more depending on other things. So there are times though that you do need more water and fluids in your body. So the first one we're going to talk about is exercise. So with our challenge, we've asked you to drink 64 ounces of water a day. And so what we had said before was the 48 ounces, but because we're also asking you to exercise for 30 minutes a day, that's why we're asking you to do the 64 ounces of water. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's why we're asking you to do the 64 ounces of water. And sometimes depending on the person, you still might need more than that for your body, or you can need less. But other times you might need it is in the hot weather, Cold environments, you might not think about that very much. When it's cold, your body doesn't feel as thirsty or feel like it needs water as much, but it actually needs water just as much as in hot weather. So in higher altitudes, you also need more water. Any children and elderly need water. If you're sick or you have some disease, you need more water than most people would. If you're pregnant or you're nursing, you would need more water. If you drink alcohol or caffeine, you would need to drink more water on top of the daily recommended amount, just because they are diuretics, so they help make you produce more urine. So you have to replace that amount. And then just as you're thirsty, anytime you're thirsty, that means your body needs more water. So anytime you feel thirsty, that's when you know for sure that you need to be drinking more water. So any questions on anything so far? Make sense about the exercise?
Clear as mud.
Okay, so I just came up with a few tips and tricks to help you guys be drinking more water, because if you're like me, I have a really hard time drinking 64 ounces of water. I'm drinking water at 9 o'clock at night, like chugging it to get my amount that I need to get. But some things that help you can keep it close, make sure you always have it so that you can drink it whenever you need to. Track your water intake, and you can do this on pretty much all the apps that I've seen, and you can do it on the SuperTracker like Cindy was showing you. You can use an alarm, so just set an alarm on your phone saying drink a glass of water, just to remind you as you're busy throughout the day to get your water in. Make it a morning and a night habit. You could drink a glass of water before night, fill it up, and put it on your nightstand. First thing you do in the morning, drink that glass of water, and you've already started your day off with water. So this is something that helps me. I like to drink my water out of a straw, more than just drinking it like out of a water bottle. I drink more that way. You can buy a nice water bottle, and the theory just behind this is just that when you buy a nice water bottle, you're more likely to use it instead of just the ones you can buy from the store. Mark your water bottle. You can take your water bottle, if you have one of those big ones, and just put lines on them and say, I need to be drinking this much by 9 o'clock, this much by 12, just so you have a path throughout the day so that you're not having to drink it all at once. Drink a glass of water before you eat and in between meals as well, so that, because when you're eating, your stomach's full, and so if you drink it before, then you can get that water in you need. And you can always order water when you eat out instead of ordering any other kind of beverages that they have. Does anybody else have anything that helps them drink more water?
Yeah, I carry a big jug.
Yeah.
It looks like a small cooler
Uh-huh.
with a spout, because I drink everything out of a straw.
That's what I do.
And I have that thing with me everywhere.
Yeah, and it really does help when you carry it with you everywhere, and it's readily available wherever you go. You do drink a lot more.
What
If
about
I
if
don't
you
drink it, Trisha's gonna kill me.
add like something to it? Are you allowed to do that?
We are allowing that you add natural things like,
Well, I mean, like those doTERRA oils, that one drop of the lemon.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Just to add a little bit of flavor.
A
We don't
flavor.
really want you to use the drink mixes
No,
and things
no.
like that. But if you wanted to add lemons or something to give it a little flavor, that's really
Yeah, be
Nice,
careful
yeah.
with some of those additives that you have. Some of them contain caffeine
yeah.
and sugar, and they add the calories. So those commercially made ones, probably not
Yeah.
so good.
I strictly use lemon water. Keep lemon water in my fridge always.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
one of
it's
my
a good
favorites. Anything else that anybody does to help drink more
I've
water?
noticed that if I get good ice, like a little pebble ice, instead of great big chunky icky ice, that I'm more inclined to drink.
To
I
drink
don't know
it?
why. It's psychological, I know, but
Well, everybody has different tricks. That's why I'm
Right.
asking. So I love the pebbled ice.
Cucumber water's pretty good.
Anybody else want to share anything?
Seriously.
No?
Like cut
Okay.
up a
And then
cucumber.
this is
Yeah,
just
slices
my
and just
sources
put
of where everything from the slideshow came from. So you know, it's all research based and everything, so there's that, and Cindy will
Okay.
finish off.
All right, we'll see how we did. One thing I looked up, because I had extra time, see, it was really quick. Almond milk. 1 cup of almond milk has 56 calories. It's fairly low in calories. It has protein. It also has 24 calories that come from added sugars, so almost half of its calories are coming from an added sugar. And it has 127 milligrams of sodium. That's just an FYI for you people to know that, right? Okay, let's see. I may have to refresh here a sec. All right, let's see how we did. Some places were better than others, but okay. So here we went to 153% on our grains. So we're quite a ways over, but we did have some refined grains in there. So and then some whole grains, but most of it was whole grain because we had whole wheat, toast, and then our sandwich was on wheat bread. So when we're looking at our grains, what percentage should be whole wheat or whole grains? What's the recommendation? Does anybody know?
I'm guessing 80, but I don't know.
It's 50.
That's
50% whole grains, and that's the recommendation. So if you're eating the white breads, make sure you're eating some of the other whole grain breads to go with that. Or if you're eating white rice, the brown rice is probably better for you, that type of thing. Our vegetables were way over. Our vegetables, we had 178%. We had lettuce and beans, and it counts the potato as a vegetable. So we are over that. On our fruit, we're way over our fruit because we had an apple for a snack.
A smoothie, a
We
banana.
had an orange, we had a smoothie, a few different things there. Our proteins were just about right. Milk, yogurt, and cheese. And we had yogurt
Twice.
We
twice.
didn't have any meat?
The protein here, yes, we did.
Oh.
The protein were
That's like
over
half.
too, we're at about 181%. Because we had a chicken breast plus we had the sandwich. And did we have any protein for breakfast?
No.
No. Okay. So we were over our limits on everything. We're pretty balanced, but we were over. As far as being over on our fruits and vegetables, not as crucial as being over on, say, our grains. But understand that you need to have those grains. We did this last night and we were way under on our grains. A lot of people are, oh, I can't eat bread, that's fattening. We have to have some of those grains. That's what's giving us our energy. But let's check out our daily limits. Oh, I'm in the red.
Oh, yes, you are.
I am. I ate way too much today. Okay, so I'm way over on my calorie limit. So where can I cut and what would I cut out? So I can go back and I can look at those foods and I can say, oh, you know.
One baked potato.
And like you say, maybe a 6-inch sandwich instead of a 12-inch or whatever. My added sugars, I'm at 52 grams. That's over my 40-gram limit. And that's probably because I had that chocolate nugget. And
I
don't do it
that
every
myself,
day.
though.
and
This one for a while.
you probably counted the orange juice, sugars in the orange juice. Do you think?
Yeah. Maybe a little bit.
But most of the time, the sugars in the fruits, they're not worried about those sugars.
They're good
Sugar in the
sugars.
breads too.
Yeah, and in the breads. Our saturated fat, we stayed under our limit of our saturated fat, and we stayed under our sodium level. So that's great, right? We did pretty good there. We just ate too many calories.
But if you looked at, like, because they did breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack,
Right.
we had so much food, we never eat that in a day.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So
There was a lot.
Way
as
more
you
than-
look at it as a whole thing and say, okay, now what can we eliminate and still have a really balanced day?
Mhm.
It's still really doable, isn't it?
It is very doable.
Yeah.
But can you see how you could take this information and then go through and just really evaluate what you're eating and what your diet is? So that's what we're looking for as far as the tracking the food. And it didn't take me long to do that. I did one day in 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. So it does take a little bit of time, but if you sit down and do it all at once. And then once you get foods in there, let's say you have French toast for breakfast every day, you then it'll just automatically come up. And if you're eating like the same lunch twice a week or something like that. So once you get your food in there, then it becomes a little bit easier. Okay, any other questions? Does that SuperTracker make sense?
Yeah.
And kind of give you some idea of how to track that food better, and just to be more aware of what you're putting into your bodies. So,
So it gives you daily totals, does it give you weekly totals, or how can you manipulate it, how can you change?
it'll give you a report, and I'm not sure what exactly comes out on that
I
report.
think you can choose the days. I'm pretty sure you can. You can choose the days of, and like go from this time to this time. So
Okay.
you could be like a weekend.
Okay.
So that would be a good option for you to do those reports, just to see where you're at. I think that's, a lot of this program is about awareness, and it will help you make those behavior changes that you want to. So if any of your team members are here, remind them to check their emails and be ready to report your scores on Monday. What other questions do you have before we are finished for the night? Because I promise you, you'll only be here an hour, right?
How do they watch this?
Oh, how do they watch? I will send out an email that has the YouTube link on it, and they can just click on it and watch. Like I say, it'll be at least tomorrow. Maybe it won't be ready until Monday. It just takes a while to upload it and edit it. And it's not really a great quality. I'll tell you that right now. The video's not great quality, but you do get the information. So that's what we're looking at, and you can watch it just in your spare time. So. One other thing, make sure you sign the roll. Those of you that came in late, make sure you sign that paper.
I thought it was an EMT meeting, because it said on my message, EMT.
So she told him to stay home.
And so I said, oh no, it's an EMT meeting. He was at my house when I got the text.
That's funny.
Then I tried to text him back and say, no, get back here.
It should have went to him too, didn't it?
This is another program that Extension is offering. It doesn't have anything to do with this, but we're just advertising if you're interested. It's about estate planning for your family. And especially if you have farm or a lot of property and you want to plan that estate, this is a free lunch at the Timberline on February 4th from 12 to 1. If you're interested, there's a handout there. Go ahead and take it. Pass that information along if you know of anybody who's interested. Okay, you are done. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Roll, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it's right here.